And I know that you love a good underdog pick. So I know that you are highly considering this John Ryder versus Canelo Alvarez odds. You're getting a plus 900 for John Ryder versus a minus 1800 for Canelo Alvarez. Are you taking those odds on John Ryder?
Not a chance. What do you hear? What do you say? This is how to fuck up your parlay. I'm joined here by Jesse Rowe. What's going on, bro?
What's up, brother? No Timmy shoes this week, but we're gonna fill in the big shoes to fill. So we're gonna fill them in as best as we can. We got some good fights. We got some good betting lines, and let's get into it. How are you feeling about these fights this weekend, bro? There's a lot of good ones.
There's a lot of money to make, so let's give out these winners and let's give these picks out. If you want to make money, you're watching the right show. If you want to lose money, go follow these other guys who are giving garbage ass picks. Right here, you're getting solid picks for free. You're gonna laugh to the bank. And like I always say, if you lose, I can easily give you Jesse Rowe's address. He lives in Sherman Oaks, California. I know the exact apartment. You guys are gonna be banging down his door. Don't come my way.
No, but for real, I do want to say there are a lot of betting shows where people are, just fronting. Cap, you're legit. You're into this. You're into the odds. As long as I've known you, you've been into the odds. So I know that.
Not only that, I know the fighters. I have relationships with a lot of them. I can tell you what type of shape they're in and how serious they're taking the fight. You're going to get primo picks here.
And I know that you love a good underdog pick. So I know that you are highly considering this John Ryder versus Canelo Alvarez odds. You're getting a plus 900 for John Ryder versus a minus 1800 for Canelo Alvarez. Are you taking those odds on John Ryder?
Not a chance. John Ryder is here to pick up a check, and that check comes, at the expense of getting knocked out by Canelo.
Yeah, I'll put $10 down on Ryder. That's it. That's about as far as I'll go.
In my opinion, the skill difference is the gap of skill. We're talking about Canelo, one of the greatest boxers to ever live. He's up there, top 10 greatest boxers of all time. In my top 10, he's up there with Ali, Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul. No, just kidding on Jake Paul. But Oscar De La Hoya. A lot of greats. So I don't like to mention young guys because they have more to do in their career. You won't see me mentioning anyone who's under 30 years old. You gotta put in more work. You got to box into your 30s to be considered a great, in my opinion. But anyways, my pick is sorry for being long-winded there. My pick is Canelo. He's a lock. Minus 1,800. You win $100. Lay that 1,800 down. It's getting a free 100. Jesse, we would ask you your pick if we give the fuck, but I don't think anyone gives a fuck. Let's move on to the U.S. No, I'm just fucking with you.
No, but what I'll say about it is this is one I'm probably not going to bet on its own. I'll throw Canelo into a parlay, which we'll get into later. I wouldn't put money on its own. I hope, though, just this one little note I want to make. I hope this is a tune-up fight for Canelo Alvarez versus David Benavidez, because that's the fight the fans really want to see. So that's what I'm hoping for. But this is taking place in Guadalajara, Mexico. Could you imagine Benavidez versus Canelo in Mexico? That'd be incredible.
Well, if Benavidez Canelo happens, it's going to either happen in Vegas because all the biggest fights happen in Vegas, or lately a lot of big fights been going to Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia has so much money. They love the sport of boxing. You're hearing they're willing to pay Tyson Fury over $100 million to fight Usyk. So Saudi Arabia is a big competitor right now to Vegas for hosting these the biggest fights in boxing. But Benavidez Canelo, to go back to your point, that is the fight. Canelo gets past Ryder. We want to see Benavidez Canelo, two Mexican monsters, old legend versus a young guy who could be a legend. We want to see that fight. But
all right, well,
I know we got a shorter show here today. We're going to be giving you our picks, and we're going to be hopping off. It's Friday evening over here in LA. We want to deliver you winners for the weekend, and Jesse Rowe's got a dinner later.
Yeah, that's right. But I got to make sure that we talk about these fights coming up at UFC 288 because there are some good ones. There's the return of Kron Gracie fighting Charles Jourdain, And Kron Gracie is a plus 145 underdog. Jourdain is a minus 170. Now, keep in mind, these are the odds on DraftKings. They might vary from different site to site.
So you're saying Kron Gracie is plus 145 according to DraftKings?
According to DraftKings, he's a plus 145. Jourdain is a minus 170. Who are you taking?
Wow, I don't want to call this easy money, but let's call it good money. Put about 5 to 10% of your entire stack or bundle, whatever you're working with, on Kron Gracie. You're getting underdog odds at plus 145. This is good value bets. He's a jiu-jitsu master, one of the best to ever step on the mats in the sport of jiu-jitsu, comes from a legendary family. I don't think Charles Jourdain is a Cub Swanson. We know Cron, lost the Cub. I think if Cron were to run it back, he'd probably get the best of Cub. I think it was a good learning experience for Cron. I don't think again, Charles Jourdain, good, been in UFC a while, good fighter, but he's no Cub Swanson. I think Kron Gracie gets it done by submission in the first round.
I agree. And I'm a big believer. Some people aren't. Some people are just math based. I'm a big believer in things behind the scenes and how that determines your picks for a person's fights. And I've seen Kron Gracie over the past week on UFC Embedded and just how his persona, how he's been acting behind the scenes. I don't know if you saw, but he kind of got a little annoyed with Henry Cejudo during an autograph signing. And I just think that the dude is locked in. He isn't interested in all of the secondary stuff, all of the extracurricular stuff. He seems genuinely interested. I'm not concerned with the layoff. I think the guy he's always working. He's a practitioner. He's always trying to get better. And I just think that he's the type of fighter that you get into an on-the-ground situation. I don't know if Jourdain has the grappling and the jiu-jitsu to compete with Kron Gracie, so I'll be taking Gracie as well. I think it's a really good pick at plus 145. I think those are really good odds. Really good odds.
Same here.
So with that being said, we also go to, this is a fight that I love. Both of these guys took this fight on short notice. Gilbert Burns versus Belal Muhammad. This is a virtual title eliminator, by the way. Both of these guys have basically been promised a title shot if they win this fight.
Odds are even. Like you said, it's a pick 'em fight, pretty much. I got Bilal because of his win streak is pretty impressive. He's ran through some killers. I think he's in his prime, where Gilbert can also, there's a good argument that he's in his prime. Some would say he might be exiting his prime. I don't know. I think it's too soon. I know Gilbert's warmed up, but he just came off a big fight with Masvidal. He might just be collecting a check here. Who knows? It's going to be a good fight. We know Gilbert Burns is a jiu-jitsu monster, like Kron Gracie, practitioner. He's his jiu-jitsu's next level. As long as Bilal could fend off that, I think Bilal actually has better hands. I've been watching Belal Muhammad for a long time. He's a good striker, good boxer. So I think he should be able to piece up Burns. Masvidal had good hands too, but Masvidal's older. He's admitted that he's lost his reaction time and he's a little slower. So Masvidal in his prime had good hands. I think Bilal's in his prime right now with good hands, and I think he's going to possibly knock out Gilbert Burns. We saw what Usman did to Burns. I think Bilal could do something similar. My pick is Belal.
I like what you're saying. It's coming off a lot of times when these two grapplers, guys that are good on the ground, when they fight each other, you see them stand. It becomes a standing fight because neither one wants to. It doesn't serve the other to fight each other on the ground. That's my analysis, Cap. That's my analysis of being an MMA analyst here. I'm sort of conflicted here because I was leaning one way, and now based on what you just said, I'm starting to lean another way because I was thinking it was going to be Burns all the way. I'm going to take Belal Muhammad, and the reason why is I just think that coming off of a fight 3 weeks ago, I'm a little concerned about the fact that this is a 5-round fight. Belal Muhammad asked for this to be a 5-round fight. It wasn't Gilbert Burns. It was Belal Muhammad who asked for that, which says to me that Bilal's gas tank is there. And that's what he wanted. That feels like a strategic move to me. And I'm just liking where Bilal's mindset is at. So I like that pick. I like that pick a
Hitting
lot.
it right on the head a lot. You're hitting. I like what you said there at the end. Mindset. I do like where Bilal's mindset is. I did see him in Miami for the Adesanya fight about a month ago. He wasn't drinking. He looked like he was just. He looked yoked. He looked strong. He looked like it was like 190, 195, and he was looking like in real tip top shape. And yeah, that's the same card that Gilbert Burns fought on. I got Bilal. I think everything's with him right now. He's trending in the right direction. That win streak is massive. So Belal Muhammad on to the main event here.
So that leads us to the main event. It's the return of Triple C, Henry Cejudo, 3-year layoff versus the champ and the bantamweight champ, Aljamain Sterling. And we've got Aljamain and Henry. This is a coin flip. It's -105 for Aljamain, -115 for Henry. There is no underdog in this fight. It's basically a pick 'em. This is a good one, man. Who you got?
It's a pick 'em fight. This is the gambling show. I'm here to make people money. I only give solid advice, and on this one I can't choose. So I'm going to tell gamblers to enjoy the fight and stay away. Let's not put any money on this one, because it's not a fight I would put money on. I'm not. It can go either way. It's a very tough fight. You got one of the greatest combat athletes of all time. Cejudo, his wrestling's good. Aljamain Sterling's a wrestling, but then you're going against an Olympic champ wrestler. So wrestling versus wrestling probably cancels each other out. They go to their feet. Cejudo's a Golden Gloves boxing former. He's boxed when he was young. Sterling's, a wrestler. I think Cejudo might have the advantage on their feet as far as boxing. He has high IQ, fight IQ. He likes to do fight breakdowns. He is a coach. He takes studying his opponents real seriously. We'll see. He could probably be able to find some holes in Sterling's game. Sterling's younger, taller, longer. He's a beast. He's going to fight 145 next. So who knows? Maybe Sterling's athleticism and his fight IQ can cancel out whatever Cejudo's bringing to the table after a 3-year layoff. My advice is not to bet this fight. It's too close to call. Both fucking, former champ versus champ. I don't have a pick in this one.
I gotta force you to take a pick here, and maybe I can change your mind here a little bit, because I was leaning Aljamain Sterling the whole way. I believe in weight when it comes to wrestling. I just think that Aljo is more of a natural 145 pounder than he is a 135 pounder. I think the weight cuts are tough on him, but I've just been seeing how Henry Cejudo has behaved himself this week and how he's spoken, and you don't bet against greatness, Cap. That's sort of my take on this. I learned a long time ago, you don't bet against Tom Brady. You don't bet against guys that have found a way to win at all costs consistently. And while I do think that Aljo is more in the prime of his career, I think that Henry Cejudo is one of those once in a generation athletes that's tough to take down. And I think he's going to find a way to win, because a lot of people are talking shit about Henry, that he's just doing this because he wants to make money, because he's going broke. I don't think that's the case. I think that, yeah, maybe he's interested in the money. I think he's genuinely set on going up to 145 and fighting Volk. I think that he's eyeing bigger things. And I believe in Henry Cejudo as a true, American hero athlete, former Olympian. Those types of athletes don't come around every day. I think Henry Cejudo is going to win. I think it's going to be by decision. I don't think this is going to be a fight that gets a finish. That being said, I'm not going to throw a lot of money down on it too, but I am taking Cejudo. I don't know if I've convinced you in any way, but that's my pick.
You convinced me that you're a major Cejudo fan.
No, I'm not. I'm just genuinely think that he's an incredible athlete. And I think Aljo's an incredible athlete as well, but I just believe that Cejudo has a different gear, a different level than most fighters have. I think he's just one of those guys that's just he's truly a special athlete.
This is a gamble show, so
yeah.
My advice here is not to pick one. I guess Jesse's saying don't bet on it as well. It's too close to call. Right? Is that what you're saying?
It is too close to call, but no, I'd bet on Cejudo. I would put money down on Cejudo. I think he's going to get it done.
Okay, great.
So,
I'm here to make the viewers money. I don't give advice unless I'm pretty sure on it.
Okay. Well, then let me interest you in a parlay here, because if you're not willing to bet the fight out,
I know. I'm just saying, are we trying to give our fans winners, or are you just trying to give a pick for you, to give a pick?
I believe that
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's the least confident pick
I
I
think
have.
sometimes you think, you're forced to take a pick, and I'm here to try to actually make some people some money.
It is the least confident pick I have. You're right. I'm less confident in that than any other pick, but I do like the idea of putting him in a parlay, which I'll see what you think about this. So I'm adding Drew Dober to this. So Drew Dober to win by KO, TKO, or DQ fighting Matt Frivola. It's a -115. Kron Gracie to win by submission is a +225. Henry Cejudo to win on the money line is a -115. And then Belal Muhammad to win on the money line is a +120. You add those four together, you get a +23.99. Bet $10, and you would win $249.
And if you bet 100, you're winning how much?
$2,500.
All right, bet $100. I like that. No one bets $10, but I guess some people do actually. People do bet $10.
Yeah, if you don't, a lot of people don't have the money to risk, but if you're looking to make good money, $10 to win 250, I think that's a good bet.
I like that bet one more time. I don't need the opponents. Just give me the names real quick one more time. Who are we betting
Drew
on?
Dober, Kron Gracie, Henry Cejudo, Belal Muhammad.
Fantastic. All right, cool.
So
I'm gonna do that parlay. I like that parlay. See, I would end Canelo Alvarez, right? I would suggest that parlay.
So if I were to add, you want me to add Canelo really quick?
Yeah.
Tell you what it is.
Hold
on, I'll cut it out.
He's not going to add much value.
Yeah, well, he's a -1,800, so it's tough to add that. But if you were to add Canelo, give me a second here. All right, if you were to add Canelo just on the money line, it adds an extra, basically. I'll tell you right now, it adds an extra. Oh, actually, it adds an extra $30 if you bet 10. So if you bet 100, you get 2,800 instead of 2,500. So
that's great.
Add Canelo, make an extra $300.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah, I think the best parlays for everyone is always to just pick winner loser rather than method, because when you try to pick by method, KO, shit gets confusing, and then that's how you can lose the parlay. This is some betting advice for the viewers. When parlaying, pick winner loser. You're gonna get better odds when you pick method, but it's a more dangerous game. I don't like to be too dangerous when it's a parlay. You want to play it safe, winner loser.
Well, that's why
Jesse's parlay is Dober by KO. I would just go Dober by win.
So that's why I was only suggesting a $10 bet, because you're risking less, but there's a lot of value in it when you can pick the specifics. But normally I'd agree. So anyways, Cap, thank you as always for joining me, brother. It's good to see you, and let's make that shmoney, brother.